Does it sound all right now? Let me know before I press record so that, okay, great. So let's do this like Brutus. It's about that time. I'm about to press record and we're going to start this episode because, baby, this one been on my spirit and I'm ready to get to it. Hold on, I feel like I got a burp. I guess not. What's good, everybody? Welcome back to Universal Teas. It's the People's Podcast with your girl Toya, and this episode is called Planning for Purpose. So, boom. I always got to tell y'all how I come up with these episode ideas. So, this episode happens to come from a conversation at a very lit brunch that I had this weekend with my friends. So, shout out to my girls who were with me at brunch this weekend, because as we were sitting there, I just kind of felt like I was where I needed to be. And so the reason that I called this episode Planning for Purpose, I have a subtitle, right? So it's Planning for Purpose and Go Where the Welcome Sign Is. Okay? So the reason that I said that I wanted to talk about Go Where the Welcome Sign is because I realized that the times that I am most anxious, I don't know about you or if I'm just telling my business, but the times that I am most anxious is when I'm in spaces that I probably shouldn't be in. Whether it be that I outgrew the spaces or they're just spaces that are not welcoming to me, I felt anxious there. And so I feel like if we go where the welcome sign is, that is where we're going to be most comfortable and most vulnerable and most seen and most heard. So I want us to make sure that we are walking in our purpose. And a part of planning to be in our purpose is to plan to be in spaces where we're welcome, where our community is, where we're invited, where we're supported. And so that's what I wanted to make sure that we cultivated today. Okay? So, hold on, my sound's still on. So, y'all know I love a definition. So if I say that this episode is called Planning for Purpose, we throw that word out so much, like find your purpose, walk in your purpose, only do things that align with your purpose. And in order to do that, we actually have to know what that means. We have an idea. A lot of the things that we say, a lot of the words that we come up with in this day and age that are kind of trendy, we say them, but we don't really know what the actual deep meaning is. So I have the definition of purpose for you. The word purpose is the reason for which something is done or created or for which something exists. So when somebody is telling you to walk in your purpose or do things that align with your purpose, they are literally talking about doing the things that you were born to do. Doing the things that contribute to the reason that you exist in this life, in this space, in this realm, right? Doing what you have been called here to do. And I think that sometimes we mistake, and I just thought about this while I was driving, y'all. We think that when somebody is walking in their purpose, they're automatically on this pedestal, or they're automatically at the highest degree or successful. But the term that came to me is purpose is not a pedestal, it's a platform. Purpose is not a pedestal, it's a platform. And what I mean by that is platforms are like foundation. The platform for something isn't always high. It can be high, it can be lifted, it can be raised, but your purpose is not always a pedestal. So when we feel like we're beginning, and this is me, this is what I've really been feeling right now, and this episode is kind of near and dear to me because I feel like this is the moment that I'm in right now, is we get so caught up in making it to that pedestal or to that pinnacle that we don't realize that sometimes the purpose that you're following is not on a pedestal. It's grimy, it's dirty, it doesn't make sense, you're afraid, you're nervous, you're anxious, there's things about it that you're not really sure about. You have all of these ideas and these plans and these feelings for things that you want to do, but your purpose is not always on a pedestal. Sometimes your purpose is a platform, and it's at the bottom, right? You have to be the one to sow into that purpose when it's a platform. You have to be the one to feed into that purpose. Just because you're walking in your purpose doesn't automatically mean you're going to be on a pedestal. You know what I mean? Like Beyonce, and I feel like I talk about Beyonce every episode, but she's a great point to make. But we have this idea that when we are walking in our purpose, we're going to automatically be at the top. She did not start selling out football stadiums. That's not how she started. She was walking in her purpose when she was doing talent shows at 10 years old. Just because you're walking in your purpose doesn't mean you're going to have the flashing lights, the accolades. You're not going to have people cheering for you. You're not going to have people clapping for you. You're not going to be making the money that you want to make. That's not what purpose is. We're starting to confuse purpose with pedestals, and that's not the same. If you are disciplined and you are consistent and you are loyal to your purpose, yes, you'll get to that pedestal, but you don't start there. Walking in your purpose literally means to just do. Figure out why it is that you exist. Figure out the things that feed you, that you enjoy doing. I don't know about y'all, but I've come into this mental space where I feel like the work that I do, I should be happy about, or it should fulfill me. I refuse to adopt this idea that I just work to make money. If it's not my purpose, then I don't have to do it. And I really feel like that is for everybody, right? There is somebody, I am so convinced, there is somebody out there who wakes up, does what they love for a living, and make money off of it. So I really know and I really believe, and I won't stop doing what I have to do until I get to a point where I wake up excited to do what pays me. I ain't there yet. Very far from it. But if it's not fulfilling you on the inside, if you don't get joy doing it, that's not your purpose. And when I say that, don't get mistaken. Some people are like, well, you're not going to always enjoy it, right? You got to do the hard work. But if your reason for working hard doesn't fill you up, if your reason for being exhausted, you're not going to, walking in your purpose isn't easy. When you're planning to walk in your purpose, you have to understand that it's not always going to be light. It's not always going to be cheerful. It's not always going to be joyous. But you have to understand your why, and your intention in doing it has to be so fulfilling, has to be so clear, has to be so bright, and it's just for you that you don't mind waking up and being exhausted. If I get exhausted at the end of the day of doing shit that I love for 24 hours, I'm good. Right? Purpose is also not painless. So we know now that purpose does not mean you're on a pedestal to begin with, and purpose is not painless. Hell, it might be painful. Because when you're walking in your purpose and you're doing the thing that you're called to do, it doesn't really make sense to everybody sometimes. So you got to do the heavy lifting. Everybody doesn't have your idea, your dream, your vision. So you're going to be in pain. You're going to be working hard. You're going to be tireless trying to fulfill your purpose, but understanding that this is so near and dear to me. This was written in the stars and in stone for me, so I have to do it. Right? Purpose, the reason for which something is, or why one is created, or why something exists. It don't say nothing about money. It don't say nothing about accolades. It don't say nothing about nobody cheering for you. It doesn't even say anything about somebody supporting you. So when you are planning to walk in your purpose, don't be afraid to do it alone. Don't be afraid to do it scared. Don't be afraid to do it 20 years after you originally planted the seed. Don't be afraid to do it without anybody in your corner, because that is your purpose. Okay? Now, I said that, and I told y'all I got this idea, and I'm glad that my friend Latrice hopped on here, because this is what we talked about at Brunch Girl after a couple libations when I got the idea for this episode. But the reason that we find ourselves, or I find myself, because y'all know I be telling my business, y'all just tell me whether or not you agree, is because when we are anxious and we are nervous or uncomfortable, I said that it's because we are trying desperately to exist in a space that's not meant for you. I'll say that again. The reason that you find yourself anxious, nervous, uncomfortable, uncertain, uneasy is because you are trying desperately to fit somewhere that you don't belong. Now, whether that be you're fitting there or you're trying to fit there, and you don't fit there anymore. Like, yeah, I used to allow this. Yeah, I used to want this relationship. Yeah, I used to want to fight for it, but now you know you don't. Now you're anxious every time that person comes around. Yes, this was my passion in college. I really wanted this to be my career, but now you hate waking up every single day. That means that that's not your purpose. If you can't see the end goal fulfilling you, if there's nothing that you're looking to achieve by the end of it, that means that it's no longer for you. You're trying desperately to fit in there. I'm going to show up every day. I'm going to try again. I'm going to try this. I'm going to try that. But sometimes you know your internal clock tells you that that's not where you're supposed to be. So now you're anxious. You have to get out of that. And I wrote a bunch of different things, right? So we're anxious and uncomfortable because we're trying desperately to fit into spaces, whether that be work, whether it be a relationship that you've had for 10 years and you just can't see yourself letting it go, but you know deep inside that it's not really for you. You don't care about the fact that you got kids. You don't care about the fact that you besties with a mama. You don't care about any of that, but you're still anxious in this space, in this relationship. It's time for you to go. That's not your purpose. It's time for you to walk from underneath that welcome sign and walk where your people are, whether it's beliefs. Yeah, I was raised Catholic, but I don't really know. I got some questions. Yeah, I was raised Christian, but I got some questions about the church. It may not fit you anymore. Your home. Yes, I've always lived here, but I feel like I'm uncomfortable. It's making me uneasy that it's still people hanging outside on the block. It's making me uneasy that I'm nervous about my kids walking home from school. That's not your space anymore. Your mindset. As we grow, our mind grows, right? As we elevate ourselves, we get more curious. The more you're exposed to, the more things that you want to know, that you learn. Your child, what I'm trying to say, I'm about to say curry chicken. Curiosity, that's the word. Your curiosity heightens as you move to these different levels. So your mindset might be telling you to move, okay? Your body, you might be uncomfortable in your body. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? This food tastes good. You know, these wings, these burgers, these fries, these chitlins. Huh? But your body is telling you that you don't want it anymore. I'm definitely in a space where my body is no longer accepting certain foods. Let me tell y'all a quick little side note, right? So I've been cooking, right? I've been in the kitchen trying to, you know what I'm saying, cook me up some homemade meals. So the other day, oh no, I'm lying. It was maybe like a week or two ago. It was a little bit before my birthday. I was out trying to shop and find something for my birthday. And I was like, let me just go to McDonald's real quick, grab me a McChicken, keep it going. Baby, listen, my body been telling me no. I'm not a 12-year-old girl anymore. I can't just be eating chicken, McChickens and chicken nuggets and Big Macs and double quarter pounders, baby. I ate that McChicken and I got in that mall and my stomach was toe up. Talk about, y'all ever seen that show where they be in the grocery store and they be running through just like grabbing stuff? Baby, that was me up in the Kira, because we wouldn't make chicken. No, my body said that's not us. That's not us no more, sis. So you really gotta listen to yourself and your body and your mind and your spirit when it tells you that that's no longer your purpose. Yeah, I used to always eat this. I wasn't too, and baby, I'm not bougie. My body said no. I grew. I was exposed to healthier options. I was exposed to more convenient options that were also healthy. So you really got to listen to that and take yourself out of the spaces that no longer feed your purpose. Even though you can't see the fruits of your purpose, we sometimes let that discourage us. And I'm talking about me. Let me know if I'm talking about y'all. When we start to walk in our purpose and we don't see that instant return or that instant gratification, we feel like we're not. But God lets you know, the universe lets you know, your spirit is going to let you know that this is your purpose, because what you want to end up with is so clear. And maybe that's it. Maybe that's it for me too. It's not your purpose if you don't have a clear end goal. Well, not even end goal, but a clear goal for what it looks like. God gives us vision. And if you can't see it, that ain't for you. If I know that I can't transform the world or give the world my best self in this one career, then I have to leave. If I know that in this relationship, I can't fully be who I am, I can't be all the parts of me that God called me to be, that's not my purpose to be in that relationship. There's lessons that are going to align with my purpose, but that particular thing is not it. And we sometimes forget that. Keep yourself reminded that everything is always leading you to what your purpose is. So that's when you get that's when you get unafraid to walk away from certain things, from certain people, from certain jobs. Because when you really internalize the understanding that everything that happens is going to lead me to my purpose, you're not afraid to walk away from the situations that are not serving it. You're going to get a lesson that's going to be an ingredient to your purpose, but that ain't it, baby. You shouldn't wake up every day hating it. You shouldn't see your partner and just think, damn, I wonder, like, I'm tired of arguing with this man about this. I'm tired of arguing with this woman about this. That's a stuck mindset. You shouldn't wake up every day in your body and be like, ugh, I'm too big, I'm too skinny, I'm too fat. Change it. It's not meant for you to be that. If you see yourself on a private jet, that's you. You just got to work to get it. Plan for your purpose and say no to every single thing that does not match it. Because you have to be so secure in the fact that everything that is for you is never going to miss you. Everything that is meant for you is going to find its way to you. And everything that you were destined to do is going to nag you every single day until you do it. And that leads me to this quote that came upon me. Y'all know I be remembering quotes and shit from people. And so this one kind of spoke to me, and it literally just popped in my mind today by Maya Angelou. There's no greater agony than bearing the untold story inside of you. I'll say it again for the folks in the back that didn't have their AirPods connected yet. There is no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside you. And that was Maya Angelou. And so that's what purpose is. If you are walking around with something that may not make sense to everybody, that nobody's ever done before, that you've never heard before, but it's heavy. It gets heavy because you have all of these ideas and you have this vision. You gotta birth it, right? It's like being pregnant with a vision forever. I ain't never, had a kid, but I know a lot of pregnant women, when they get to the end, they like, it's time. I'm ready. I'm tired of being pregnant. You got to get tired of being pregnant with your purpose and give it to the world. That same agony, imagine being pregnant for 3, 4, 5 years. A bunch of moms in the chat going to be like, yeah, no, we good. It's the same thing with your purpose. It's the same thing with the vision that you have. You have to birth it. You have to birth it so then you have room for new ones. You know what I'm saying? You have to birth it so that you have room for new opportunities to exist there. You have to get those things out of your mind so that you have room for the bigger and the better things. You know what I mean? That makes sense? Or I'm just talking to myself. And so my notes are a little all over the place. But another point that I wanted to make about feeling uncomfortable when you're not walking in your purpose, I said that the nervousness that you feel, the discomfort that you feel, the confusion that you feel, the anxiety, even the fears that you get when you are in these places that don't serve your purpose, all of that is just a translation to transformation. That's you, that's your mind, your body, your spirit telling you that you need to transform into something else so that you can be on the path to your purpose. All of those negative feelings we kind of let ourselves sit in, that depression that we let sink in, all of those feelings are literally just meant for you to translate them into the catalyst for your transformation. What Sam said, my client and I are tuned in. She needed this. Her business is about to launch. And I know that's right, and I can't wait to see it, and I know it's going to be beautiful, but you got to push. And you got to know that business isn't going to start off making you buku money. But it needs to bring you buku joy and comfort and peace and understanding of yourself and self-sufficiency. And that's what purpose is. It's self-sufficiency. It's self-esteem. It's self-motivating. Right? So let's get to the welcome sign part. So this episode's subtitle. So we got planning for purpose, and then the subtitle is go where the welcome sign is. And so y'all know when I think about a welcome sign or open sign, it's like you can come in. Come on in. Come join the crowd. So when we are on this journey to purpose, it's so important that you go where you see the welcome sign. Find your community. And so I've realized that sometimes that's difficult. Sometimes it's difficult to go where the welcome sign is for you, because once you've realized that this is where I'm welcome, or this is where I need to be, or this is the community of people I need. This is, you know what I'm saying? We're on Instagram. You can put in a hashtag and find a community. Podcasters, millennials, women, black people. All of these communities, we have to go where those welcome signs are. And we get so afraid when we're starting to move in our purpose and we're looking for the welcome sign. And sometimes you spot the welcome sign. Watch this. You spot the welcome sign, but you're afraid to go and stand under it when you realize that sometimes the people that you love the most are not standing under that sign. They're not holding the sign. They're not even going to point you in the direction of the sign. Sometimes they're going to see you walking towards that sign and they're going to walk away. And we're afraid of that. Because when you standing under their welcome sign, when you standing under the party, get high, get drunk welcome sign, it's plenty people there. Your homegirl there from back in the day, your boy there, you know what I'm saying? Family's there. But baby, hold up a welcome sign that says saved and celibate. Everybody gonna look at you sideways. Because what? We don't do that. We don't do that in this family. There's some morals, some values, and beliefs that you start to attune yourself to. But then you walk from underneath that welcome sign to the one that suits you. And your friends are like, that ain't what we've been doing. You cannot be afraid to lose people when you're walking into your purpose. And sometimes, here's the challenge for those of us that are truly believers in ourselves. Sometimes you are looking for a welcome sign that may not exist. Sometimes you are looking for a welcome sign. You're looking for a community that does not exist. That means that it's your job to create the community, baby. That's even more scary. Because you don't have a blueprint. You might not have a role model. You might not have a support team. But you have vision, you have purpose, and your spirit tells you that that's what you need to do. Sometimes you got to hold up that welcome sign. And this is the work part of purpose. Sometimes you got to hold up that welcome sign. And you got to trust that your people are going to find you. Hey, Mom. And trust that your people are going to find you. And you cannot get weary in doing what you're called to do, because sometimes you might be holding up that welcome sign for a minute. Your arms going to get tired. You're going to get a little thirsty. But you got to understand that walking in your purpose is always going to lead to a vision. Nobody who's great became great because they gave up when things got difficult. Nobody is a role model because when their story got a little difficult, they gave up. People don't run to someone when they have an issue if that person they know is going to give up. When you are looking for your welcome sign, sometimes it may not exist. That means that you have an even greater purpose, because your purpose is to create that community. Right? And sometimes you're just in the wrong space. Maybe you're looking for the welcome sign in the people that you love the most, and sometimes that shit don't make sense to the people around you, and that's okay. I know sometimes we kind of make everything negative. We make endings so negative all the time. Like, well, ain't nobody do this, and I started doing this, and we not friends no more, so we can't do this, and I don't talk to her. Sometimes endings are cool. It's cool. It doesn't have to be bad blood just because there's a misunderstanding. Sometimes your purpose just don't go there no more. And either people can come with you, they can support you, or they don't have to. Don't nobody got to be loyal to you. Don't nobody have to do what you need them to do for you. You got to do what you need for you. And you might cry in the car, but you better take that same tissue and wipe your face off, because we got work to do. Purpose is sometimes painful. Purpose is not always a pedestal. Sometimes it's just a platform. Just step up there. Just step on the platform. It don't make sense. Ain't nobody in my family doing a podcast, but they all support me. And that's what's so important, is just because someone who you're attached to isn't walking under the same welcome sign as you, that has nothing to do with them supporting you. If you walk under a different welcome sign and people leave you, trust me, that's God letting you know that those really aren't your people. And sometimes we get a little nervous because those people that are walking away from you when you walk under your welcome sign and walk them into your community and walk into a new thing or a new job or a new relationship, it's because they not really your people. You can't be afraid to lose people. And we get so scared because sometimes those people that we're walking away from, those people that are walking away from us are our parents, are our sisters, are our family, our best friends of 20 years, our baby daddy, our boyfriend that we've been with for 15 years, a family friend. We get so afraid to lose people because I've been at this job for 25 years and I'm afraid to just walk away on faith. But you really have to understand and know that if this vision in your mind that is so clear is for you, you got to trust that. And you also got to trust that sometimes there's just seasons. And I'm going to tell a little bit of my business. I'm coming into a season where I've had to have some difficult conversations with my best friends. Because as grown women, we came to a realization that the strength of our relationship takes a little bit more work than it did when we were in high school. And you can't be afraid of that. Sometimes distance pulls you together because we needed to have those conversations. So the distance allowed for that to happen. Figure out what's important. You definitely have to walk out on faith. And so again, if you are doing what you're called to do, you wake up every day with joy in your heart. And I'm about to wrap us up. But the points that I wanted to make sure that you all have are understanding, one, what purpose is. Because we throw this word purpose out all the time. Like, do what's in your purpose. Walk in your purpose. And I know it's people out there like, well, how am I supposed to know if it's my purpose? What does that even mean? And so, again, purpose is the reason for which something is done or created or for which something exists. And you, even when you're walking in your purpose, you have to you have to know that the things that you're doing, you have to know the things that you are doing aren't always directly your purpose. So my purpose in this season is to do this. My purpose in this season is to cultivate relationships, right? I know that I want to start a podcast, but my overall vision is to impact people in whatever way that they need. Don't limit yourself in purpose. Purpose is progressive. Oh, that was for you. Purpose is progressive. So don't get so stuck. Don't put your purpose in a box. Put it in a lane. Because lanes keep going for as long as we can imagine. So that's really it. Don't put your purpose inside of a box. Like, my purpose is to do this. No, don't put your purpose in a box. Put it in a lane. Somebody put that in the chat. Write that down. Send a text to somebody. Don't put your purpose in a box. Put it in a lane. Wow, that was for me. Because when you're in a lane, you might have something come into your lane. You can switch over a little bit and swerve back in. But purpose is not a box, y'all. It's a lane. And it's ongoing. As long as you have breath in your body, as long as you are alive and on this side of the dirt, your purpose is not fulfilled. Your purpose isn't fulfilled until God tells you so. Yes, put your purpose in the lane, not a box. So that's what I really want you all to leave with. Look for the welcome sign. If you are uncomfortable, if something is no longer serving you, I don't care who you are, how old you are, how long you've been in that relationship, how long you've been at that job, how long y'all been friends. I don't care about how long you've been perceived this way. I don't care how much you've allowed over this many years. If you feel like something needs to change because it no longer aligns with who you are or where you're going, change it. And find the welcome sign. Hell, put a hashtag somewhere and you're going to find your community and go there. Don't be afraid to leave people, because if they really love you, they're going to catch it. When you're done walking in your purpose, they're going to be right there at the finish line waiting on you. Don't be selfish when you're changing your lane to find your purpose. Just because you're switching to another welcome sign, just because somebody loves you does not mean that they don't love you. It's the support that really matters when you're walking in purpose. Because if that's the case, if I'm starting this podcast and I expect everybody around me that loves me to start a podcast, how are they gonna? I still need support, right? You stop limiting. And that's what I'm getting, y'all. Like, I'm getting to the end, but I'm really just speaking now of not limiting yourself when you're looking for your purpose, okay? So, Go where the welcome sign is. If you don't feel welcome, baby, that's not your community. You shouldn't have to worry about what people are doing or saying when you're no longer in a room. But if you are aligned in your purpose, I promise you will get to where you need to go. Remember also that purpose is not always a pedestal. Sometimes it's just a platform. And it's up to you to raise it to a pedestal. But it's for you and it's a platform. And I trust that y'all will do the work. So, with that being said, thank you all for joining me. If you are on the live, make sure you share so that next Tuesday, y'all, what we talk about next Tuesday? Hold on. So, this was Plan for Purpose. Next week's episode is called Planning for Progress. Because you're walking in your purpose, you're doing the dirty work. So, next week, we're going to talk about how to elevate the work that you're doing. Okay? So, I love y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. I can't wait to hear all the things that you are doing to walk in your purpose. I can't wait for y'all to see all the things that I'm working on over here in my purpose for you. Share the video. If you are not already, go ahead and subscribe on any podcast streaming platform. Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Just type in Universal Teas and you're going to see me like this. On the little yellow sign, you're going to see me. But yeah, I love y'all so much. Bye.